Good evening and welcome to the Monday, January 26, 2026 City Council meeting for the City of Lamar. I'm Mayor Kirk Crespin. The 2026 has just kicked off with a bang. We have so many different things that are happening this year, so many changes within the city. We're happy to see things going and see the momentum from 2025 continue on. We're looking at so many different discussions as far as the future for Lamar and what we're doing economic development wise and community development, and with our strategic planning implementation workshop. I just recently came back from a mayor summit, which was wonderful to meet with other mayors throughout the state. Just a lot of good momentum going. So we're looking forward to a great 2026. We're looking forward to continuing on, and I hope that you'll stay with us and check in on these city council meetings to see what's happening and stay in tune with what's happening in your community. With that said, we're going to move on to our second city council meeting for 2026, and we're going to start off with Pastor Tom Barton. You can lead us in an invocation.
My invocation here today comes from St. Paul's letter to Titus, the first chapter. It has to do with pastors, but also city council members when we want to relate those words to one another. So Titus chapter 1, verses 1 through 9. Paul, St. Paul, a servant of God and an apostle of Jesus Christ for the faith of God's elect and the knowledge of the truth that leads to godliness, of faith and knowledge resting on the hope of eternal life, which God, who does not lie, promised before the beginning of time. And at his appointed season, he brought his word to light through the preaching entrusted to me by the command of God, our Savior. To Titus, my true son, in our common faith, grace and peace from God the Father and Christ Jesus, our Savior. The reason I left you in Crete was that you might straighten out what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town as I directed you. An elder must be blameless, the husband of but one wife, a man whose children believe and are not open to the charge of being wild and disobedient, since an overseer is entrusted with God's work. He must be blameless, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not violent, not pursuing dishonest gain. Rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good, who is self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. He must hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. Our meditation is for the disciples of Christ. No one likes to be rebuked. However, Christians who are living and believing in contradiction to God's word need to be rebuked. Pastors must know God's words so that they can rightly teach it and instruct their congregation in the sound doctrine of the trustworthy word as taught. This requirement extends beyond pastors. All Christians need to be lifelong learners of God's word as recorded in the Bible. We are natural forgetters, so we need to read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest the Holy Scriptures. This means we are to attend regularly the divine service at our church, where Christ's word is faithfully taught and preached, and receive the forgiveness and sustenance given in the Lord's Supper. We are to participate in our pastor's Bible study and read the Bible ourselves and with our family. Remind us to keep God's word in our hearts, to teach them. Talk of them when you sit, when you walk, when you lie down, and when you rise. The more we know about Jesus' work on the cross for us, the more we want others to know about him too. And our psalm is Psalm 119, verses 17 through 24. 17 through 24. Do good to your servant, and I will live. I will obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. I am a stranger on earth. Do not hide your commands from me. My soul is consumed with the longing for your laws. At all times You rebuke the arrogant who are cursed and who stray from your command. Remove from me scorn and contempt, for I keep your statutes. Though rulers sit together and slander me, your servant will meditate on your decrees. Your statutes are my delight. They are my counselors. And I just pray, Heavenly Father, that you be with our leaders here tonight in word, that their decisions may be made wisely according to your law. This we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Headley, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:05 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mark Henley.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins.
Here.
Kirk Crispin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Brad Johnson.
Here.
Brent Bates.
Present.
Kristen Swartz.
Here.
Mitch Yanis.
Here.
Lance Clark. Here.
Okay, we've all had an opportunity to review the agenda. Did we have any changes or corrections to the agenda?
I didn't see any that we needed to make.
I didn't see any either. Do we have a motion, or we'll just move on to the consent agenda with no changes? Do we have any items on the consent agenda that we need to vote on separately?
Check.
If there's one check, it's check number 104041, Riverside Communications, in the amount of $100.
So we have a check number 104041
Yes.
for $100 to Riverside Communications. That'll be separated out. Do we have a motion to approve all except for that? Is that your motion to hold that out?
Yes. I motion to hold that out.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the removal of check 104041 for Riverside Communications in the amount of $100, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
And now we'll just need a motion for that check that was voted on separately.
So moved. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve check number 104041 for $100 to Riverside Communications. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of, with Mayor Crispin abstaining.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the public comment portion of this meeting. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on a subject to the council? Seeing none, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the city treasurer's report. Kristen?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. For an update, you guys had, the council had approved that we accept a gift from the Carnegie Corporation of New York for a library for $10,000. And I received that check today in a letter saying that there's no conditions or expectations for the money. It's just a gift from them for their 250th anniversary. And so Sue can decide how she wants to spend it in the library. So that was a nice gift from them. Tess and Anne Marie and our team has been working on the application to turn in for the next round of the Brownfield assessment grants. That is due this week. And so they've been doing a fantastic job. Anne Marie's put in a lot of hours on that, and we appreciate her skills on that. So, and then that's all I can think of right now, unless you guys have questions for me.
How are we doing with the Tyler conversion? Can you give an update on that?
Absolutely. So this week we had a meeting all day. We had an 8-hour meeting today with Tyler. My staff member, Tony, is the lead on the utility billing, and Tom and I were also on the meeting. So today we did a data dump on last week. And so they have been taking that and working it towards balancing it and making sure everything mapped correctly into Tyler. So today they had found some things that weren't quite the same or weren't quite coming across correctly. So Tony is working on those with them diligently. And then Tom and I broke out of that meeting and went into a different one this afternoon on the online bill pay. And we're going to roll that out at the same time so we can start to take payments. So it was a full day. We're scheduled to be in those meetings all week. For the conversion part of it, our goal is to run the utility bills as normal on Thursday and get those out this week. So, and then next week they go into some pretty intense training with the staff. So Tess will join them on that and learning how to do things in Tyler. So it's a couple of weeks here of pretty intense work on the utility billing. So it'll be nice to get that other big piece out of the way. So, and then we can roll on to some of the smaller modules. So we're looking forward to it. So it's been fairly intense
Okay.
right now. So,
How in the financials, they're almost done or pretty
I'm
close?
still working with them on when I can and have time on the bank recs.
Okay.
So we're working through that. We're getting to September right now. And as soon as I get that one done, I know I can roll forward pretty easy.
Okay.
I was contacted by the auditor. Our audit was scheduled to start March 31st, but we're going to push that out to April 27th just to give us time to get through this utility billing and then get to going on the financial statement. So,
Okay.
and it should go pretty quickly after that. So looking forward to making that progress.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for the update.
you're welcome.
Anyone else have questions for the city treasurer?
You had actually mentioned the utility billing.
Yes, sir.
I had, actually, I received a couple of calls. They were asking me of when they would be able to pay their electric bill with a credit card again.
So that's probably going to be next week, I would imagine. We'll still take cash, check, money orders, anything like that. So
Right.
they're welcome to mail or come by and pay those. But we've got to get utility billing rolled out first and make sure the counts are correct and get those bills sent out. And all those payments are going to be posted. Linda's having to do a spreadsheet on those right now, and then we'll upload that this week before we do the billing. So I would imagine if I was anticipating it, it won't be until next week.
Next week.
Yes.
And then the other one was for people that have automatic drafts done. Will they be affected at all, or?
No, that's supposed to roll out with this billing, so that should go on just like they're used to. We're working on that file. It's right now, it's going back and forth between the bank. So that plan should pull just like it normally does.
And those are
Okay.
checks anyhow, right? On the automatic drafts, those are
I
aren't
think
usually
just,
credit cards. They're
no, it's just an automatic pull from your, like
so
from
they
their
can pay the
checking
check
account.
already, so that shouldn't be
Yeah.
affected.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions for the city treasurer?
I don't have any.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the city clerk's report. Nothing from the city clerk. Leaves the city administrator.
All right, so thank you, Mayor and Council. January 30th is the Chamber of Commerce Annual Banquet at the historic Cal Palace Inn. Social hour starts at 5 p.m. The banquet begins at 6 p.m. I've heard there's going to be a couple of very humorous and dynamic speakers at that, so encourage you to attend. The High Plains Snow Goose Festival will be February 5th to the 8th. A couple of interesting operational elements. Pat Mason, myself, and Robbie and Tressa from the Water Department will be out of town all day tomorrow up in Meade, Colorado, touring their wastewater treatment facility. It's the same system, very similar in size to the one we're considering. And so we're going to go see it in operation. Robbie and Tressa will be with us because they're going to be the ones that are in charge of operating it. So we want them to see and hear and answer questions, and so that we make the best decision possible for that big project. Our building department will be moving to the Community Resource Center. That will be beginning next week, the week of the 2nd. That is to facilitate two strategic objectives. One is to make it easier for the community and the contractors, anyone who needs to pull a permit,
pull a permit, it'll be easier for them to get in the building and out of the building. It'll be in that big conference room right as you go in the main door to the left. The second real good objective that we're achieving by this is the seniors have asked to have staffing in the building during normal business hours. So our permit tech will be in that office, be able to answer random questions and that kind of stuff, and provide more of a presence on that side of the building. And we will be doing some Facebook posts, some outreach once that is completed so that our building industry knows that's where we go to get permits from now on. They will, once our team is trained in billing and, well, not billing, but payments and stuff like that, people will be able to go to one spot, get their permit, make their payment. It's real easy in, easy out, real great parking. You don't have to go downstairs and that kind of stuff. We made an offer to a communications and public relations specialist that we've been talking about, tentatively scheduled to start a week from today. So we're super excited about that. And so that's going to be a good thing for our city and for our community as well, to be able to get information out more effectively and efficiently. The real neat thing is as a city team, directors, if they have an item on the agenda, they will be here to answer questions or present that item. Whereas in the past that might have not happened and we had a hard time answering questions occasionally. And so when you see directors or their designees in the audience, you'll know that's what they're here for. And so I encourage you to please, if you have questions, they're the experts that are going to be presenting that item. Please test us. I'm not challenging, I'm just offering. And then the last thing we have for tonight, I'd like to invite Chief Ritter up. He has something he would like to do tonight.
Mayor, council, thank you. I'd like to announce the Commander Support Services position will be filled by Sergeant Chad Miller. Mr. Miller has 19 years of experience in the police department. 11 of those years as being a sergeant, 7 of those years as being a detective sergeant. Commander Miller has a good amount of investigations experience, financial crime, sexual assault investigations, and tactical operations. He's in charge of moving forward some of the big goals that were put into place at the beginning of the year. We're excited to have him. Mr. Love is also a U.S. Army veteran serving a 4-year tour and 1-year combat deployment. Yeah, better know it. Your family come up for a minute.
Oh, Barb was going to take it. Okay, you might, if you can kind of scoot for the camera a little bit, or there you go. Go sideways, turn sideways. There you go.
His son's very waiting to do this. So we're going to switch up the order so that doesn't happen.
Got it? Perfect. All right, congratulations. No speech?
No.
Nope, not at all. Congratulations. Thank you for your support. All right, moving on.
And that concludes the city administrator's report, unless you have any questions for me.
I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Now, there was a question that I had received, I was just going to ask you about snow removal. And I know we had some snow removal done this past week, and I'm sure there's going to be some more coming up. My understanding in talking with Pat, with you, is that we've been trying to find the best routes to do it. I know there was some posts that I've seen on Facebook where it would be great if we can get the roads perfectly clean, but when we have cars lined up or driveways, it makes it a little bit more challenging for our staff to get around those obstacles. But one of the things that we've been trying to do is my understanding, and I just wanted to ask you about this, is it is my understanding that we'll be going through and trying to streamline some of that and improve it as we go. Is that correct? Have you?
Yes, we do that after every snow event. We look at what went well, what didn't, what areas can we improve, and we get really good right about the last storm of the season. And then right after that, we kind of we don't forget, but we get a little bit rusty. So this past storm over the weekend, we didn't have any complaints called in. We didn't have any damage to vehicles or mailboxes or anything like that. And I think we found some efficiencies and some better ways to handle the snow. And thankfully, it wasn't quite as much this time.
Okay. I just wanted to ask that question. It was something that was asked online, so I thought I'd pass that on and see what we were planning to do there. All right. With that said, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the reports and correspondence from the council.
I don't have anything to report.
Okay, Mark?
Just two items. Main Street Lamar is going to be sponsoring a drone show in May, which is kind of exciting, considering all the technology involving drones as a hobby. And so I believe they talked about holding that at the fairgrounds. And so that could be something for the community to look forward to. And only other thing is our historical preservation. Alamo and Second Baptist Church did receive a historical designation from the state of Colorado. And my first board meeting, I learned that what was Davis Western Wear Green's jewelry has a future being developed into both retail and residential. And also the Lassie has been purchased by a local investor, and they're looking also at retail and residential. So there could be a chance of some living spaces in Lamar on Main Street here in the near future.
Great. Good news. Jerry?
Okay, at our Public Safety Board meeting on January 15th, we had a citizen from Lahana here talking to us about the Neighborhood Watch program. She had a lot of good information. At our next meeting, February the 19th at 4:30 in the library conference room, we'll be implementing to see who's all interested in doing the program with us. So if you're interested in doing the Neighborhood Watch program, come see us that day on the 19th of February, or get a hold of Mike Duffy, and Mike Duffy can give you more information. Okay?
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Moving on. David?
At this moment, I do not have anything as well until our next meetings that will be coming up.
Okay. Brad?
Yeah, so all of my boards met in January, starting with the golf board. They're just trying to renovate out at the golf course. There was discussion for renovating a driving range, and I understand they've already started on new garage doors out there. So a lot of the discussion was about those topics. And so it's very interesting for me. I was expecting just kind of how much discussion about golf could there be, and there was over 2 hours. So it was pretty in depth. I was impressed. So next, the airport board. Mitch actually joined me out there, and there were lots of discussion of ideas of how to capitalize on our great airport that we have. I don't think anything was formally decided, but there is some good discussion going on. And lastly, the PEP board met today and took some notes here. So there was some discussion. They were updating their business application, and it was passed. They're also trying to get a new committee-approved shovel, is what it's called. And the last thing they discussed was the banquet for 2026. They approved the date is going to be March 26th, and they're planning on having it in Wiley. And that's all I've got.
Okay. Brent?
Water Advisory Board meets here soon, and I'm excited to hear all of the stories from their trip coming up. And again, I just am surprised at how much I enjoyed that first meeting. I'm very much looking forward to the next Water Advisory Board meeting. Mitch emailed to me today. Looks like one of our first little things we can do for CML Policy Committee. Didn't get a chance to email you back, but yes, I'd like to do that webinar with you. And then it's looking like, and I'm glad Anthony's here because he can get the update as well. I am not going to be able to move forward with Parks and Rec Advisory Board. As I mentioned last meeting, those original dates we got when we kind of shuffled things up were incorrect. And it so happens that Parks and Rec Advisory Board meets quarterly on the same day as our monthly meetings, our board meetings at work. So I was trying to see if I could maneuver, but I just am not going to be able to. So,
Is there anybody else on the council that would like to do the Parks and Rec Advisory Board?
When does it meet?
it's the third Monday of the month at noon, correct?
Third Monday of the month at noon.
You said quarterly?
It is quarterly. So the next meeting is, it is March, yeah. Because they met it on first Monday of this January to make up for December of last month, or December of last year. And the first Monday of the month is also our two of our working committees at work. So, yeah, if I would have known the correct date, I wouldn't have thrown my name in the hat for it. But
Okay.
Due to Powers Area Transit not visiting monthly, that's something I'd be willing to take on.
Okay. So can we make that change?
And that's every 3 months? Let me clarify, that's every 3 months?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That's not so bad.
Okay. So we'll make that change on the list of boards.
Okay.
We'll add you in for that.
Sure.
Okay. Is that all you had?
that's all I had.
All right. For me, as I mentioned, went to the Mayor Summit for the CML. There was very good, very interesting conversation. We discussed everything from economic development, business retention, all the way to discussions about current trends and issues that are happening within the state. One of the big discussions on it was public relations and in marketing, trying to get communications out to the community to continue to have them engaged. And that's something that we'll be working on next week with our new communications and public relations specialist. I'll share some of that information with them. And then also we had a large discussion about open meetings laws and Colorado's open meetings laws that they have for the state of Colorado. We fortunately have not had any issues with that. And a lot of the mayors just wanted to make sure that we had a discussion and answer questions and see best practices on making sure that we're keeping all of our meetings in the open and that we're sharing the information and being fully transparent with the community. So I'm happy to say that Lamar is doing quite well with that as far as transparency, especially with our online feeds of our meetings and using social media and to disseminate some of the information to the community. I think that's really helped a lot. And I'm sure we'll continue to do more of that when we have the new communications and public relations specialist in place. And that's all I have for mine. So unless there are any questions from anybody on the council, we will move next to the new business. All right. Seeing no questions, the first item on the new business is the Historic Preservation Board appointment. This is initiated by Anne Marie Crampton. Did you want to talk on this at all?
Sure. With Galen Burnett's recent passing, we have an opening for his seat, and the seat expires in June of 2028. We had 2 applicants, 2 very well qualified applicants, and the board selected Stephanie Gonzalez. She has extensive experience on the board.
Okay. So the board is unanimously recommending that Ms. Stephanie Gonzalez be appointed to serve the seat expiring on 6 of 28. So it's a 2-year term for this one. Well, it's 4-year, but she's going to finish up this term.
3-year and
Is that 3?
finishing up. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Any questions from the council?
I don't have any.
Do we have a motion?
Move to appoint Stephanie Gonzalez to the Lamar Historic Preservation Advisory Board.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Jerry.
Sorry. Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is approve lease agreement with the Department of the Navy. Don't hear that very often in this far inland. Chief?
Yes, sir. Here, council, yes, I would like to request permission on behalf of the police department in the city to enter into a lease agreement with the Department of the Navy. This program is similar to other programs that Commander Miller is very familiar with, like the 1033 program, that allows us to procure military training equipment, computers, optics for little or no cost. This particular request had been sent to the city attorney Lance prior to getting on the agenda. And this particular request is to lease 5 pieces of optic equipment, night vision to thermal night vision equipment. And the cost of the lease is $1,500 per year. The cost to purchase this equipment is about $14,000. So that's something that we're going to continue to pursue pretty aggressively through this program because, again, we get equipment for little or no cost, and it's a no-brainer as far as some of the stuff that we need to get, and we can get that without pretty much no cost or very little cost. This is a 1-year agreement. If at the end of the year we find that we utilize it well, we may request more to add on to this, or if we don't utilize it as much as we had anticipated, we can restructure the lease or less depending upon our needs. So just requesting permission to enter into this agreement with the Department of the Navy on behalf of the city.
And was this a budgeted item or do you have the?
It'll be under our equipment expense.
Equipment expense?
Yeah, like I said, given it's $1,500 a year, it was an opportunity. It was very difficult to pass up. So it'll be even with the equipment expense.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the council or do we have a motion?
Is that something that you give back at the end of the lease or just?
Yes, if we, at the end of the lease, we decide that we don't want to use it anymore, we return it at no other cost. And again, we can expand, we can get more equipment or less equipment, but we'll renew the effectiveness of this at the end of the year and decide whether to pursue it for another year or not. It's only a 1-year agreement.
So it's not a purchase lease, it's just a,
It's a use lease, yes. And if some of the equipment doesn't work or it fails or it gets broken, we send it back and they send us another replacement piece of equipment. So it's similar to perhaps the body camera.
Lance, everything looks good regarding leasing, not lease to purchase.
Yeah, I don't see any issues with it. I don't have any concerns. Can also be terminated with 10 days notice or mutual agreement of the parties.
I didn't get through the entire lease. Is this new equipment to be leased or slightly used?
It's slightly used, depending upon the availability and what you request, you can get some new equipment. But we have 2 pieces of equipment currently that are 22 years old. And finding batteries for those are almost impossible. The batteries cost half of what this entire lease would cost for a year. So, yep, it's slightly used.
After you receive the equipment, even if something did go wrong, they would just replace it.
Yep, we send it back and they will send us a replacement unit based upon what they have in inventory at the time.
The only question I had, should this be something that the mayor signs or Chief Ritter?
Usually we have the mayor sign contracts. To see that it has cheap rate listed on it. So we can amend that so that the mayor can sign.
Okay.
I don't know, is there any sense from the contract itself? There's, I don't know, any special features with it being from the military or anything like that, law enforcement?
No. Yeah, no, it's not proprietary or something that's just exclusively through the military. But again, some of this gear is commercially available. It's just, again, to purchase this, it's about $14,000. I think it has the value on that. So it's nothing specific or proprietary or that is just under any type of DoD contract as to our use or limit there.
So it's probably not a big deal.
Well, I would feel better if it said City of Lamar instead of Lamar Police Department on that signature page. And I really think that the mayor needs to sign it because that's what our charter says.
That's kind of ultimately what I was trying to get at. Thank you for clarifying that. So it would need to say update with, so it says name of law enforcement agency. So
But I think you can say our police department, but also as part of that, through the city.
okay.
I was just talking on the signature page.
Yeah.
Well, and on the that signature page, it says name of law enforcement agency, not name of municipality. So I just want to
Yeah, I
make
don't
sure
have
that's
this
not going to.
biggest
I
problem.
mean, I think it's just a change of acknowledging that it's through the city.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve this lease agreement with the changes of name of law enforcement agency to say Lamar Police Department through City of Lamar, and signed and printed by Mayor Crespin.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other final discussion?
I just wanted to do nothing against your signature.
No, that's
Just,
okay.
I thought it might have to by the charter, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Understood.
Correctly.
I'll have a revision made and we'll get it for signature.
All right, we have a motion and a second. If there's no other questions, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Motion passed.
Thank you for looking into alternate routes for equipment.
Yes, it's a tremendous cost savings for almost anything. So thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is award bid 45-014 for the annual fertilizer bid. This is initiated by Kristen Schwartz and also Anthony Latour, I would imagine, for the staff information. Anthony, would you like to speak on this?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This comes from a recommendation from our consultant on how we take care of our grass. And we're changing the type of fertilizer we use. We normally use the pre-emergent herbicide, but we like to do a combination of pre-emergent and barricade for the simple fact that the pre-emergent is high nitrogen, which causes the grass to grow. It feeds it really well, but it also feeds the weeds, which we don't like. And so with this new barricade product, we will eliminate the weeds while we're fertilizing at the same time. So it's a combination between the barricade and the pre-emergent.
Does that new fertilizer, it'll still handle the go-aheads and all those different stickers?
Not particularly the goat heads, but it will take care of the crabgrass, the goosegrass, the foxtail, some of the stuff that is mainly in most of our parks and cemeteries. But to counteract some of the other ones that aren't listed in the barricade, we will have the same supplements actively available that we could supplement on top of this. This will shorten our fertilization season, where it's going to save us about 3 weeks of time having someone go out and fertilize, which would be doing 2 applications versus the one that we're proposing right now.
Okay.
So you have something else that you'll use for the goat heads and all of that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, just making sure. All right. And are we looking at, you can't mix and match these. It's either all one vendor or
Staff recommended that we give it to the lowest overall bid because kind of a package.
Okay. I just saw that there was the one area that was lower than another area, so that's why I was looking at that.
I make a motion to award bid 45-014 to Van Diest.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the bid to Van Diest. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
next item on the agenda is award bid 45016 for construction of Willow Valley Water Distribution Improvements. This was Pat Mason, Mitch Hammis, and Kristen Schwartz. Kristen, would you want to speak on this for the bid part?
Sure. We solicited proposals for the construction of the Willow Valley Water Distribution Improvements. Bid packets were mailed, and requested for proposal was advertised in the local paper and also on BidNet on November 14th, 2025. We received 4 proposals by 2:00 on January 14th, and the bid opening was held the same day at 2:30. The bids were opened and acknowledged. Staff then took the bids and reviewed them, and we're pleased to announce that we got to award it to a local contractor, if you so choose, and it was Kerrigan Excavating came in with the lowest bid. So we're asking for council to award the bid to Kerrigan Excavating and allow the mayor to sign the construction contract upon approval of the Public Works Director, City Administrator, and City Attorney.
Okay, council, any questions? Or do we have a motion?
This is that same project we've kind of been working on for a year-ish, right?
Yes, this is paid with the ARP money that
That's
we
right.
got, NEU money. Mhm.
I thought so.
Yep, and they've been working on the design for quite some time and getting that all ready and did all the testing, and now we're ready to start construction.
And this is moving some of the lines out of the alleyways and out of underneath
Yards.
houses and yards and
Yeah.
moving them actually into the street,
Into the right-of-ways. Yes.
right of ways. Okay.
I thought so. I just.
Yeah.
We
We've
go
been at
through
it
so
for a
many
little
different
bit, so you
things
got to
that-
keep them straight.
Uh-huh.
We use acronyms a lot. That
Mhm.
hurts. Yeah, hurts my feelings when we do that.
I make a motion to award bid 45-016 on the Willow Valley Water Distribution Improvements to Kerrigan Excavating LLC and allow the mayor to sign the construction contract upon approval by Public Works Director, City Administrator, and City Attorney.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, next item, award bid 45-009, which is a request for qualifications for the EPA Brownfield Cleanup Grant. I didn't know if you wanted to speak on this or Anne Marie, who.
Well, we could tag team it. So this is a little bit different than our normal bids where you have an actual proposal, a monetary proposal. EPA or federal grants require that for engineering and consulting services that you can only go out for a request for qualifications. And the amount of money is not to be considered in that evaluation. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit unique, and it's a little uncomfortable for Anne Marie. But she did great. So we went out for bids for these requests for qualifications. We received 2. One was from Ayers, and the other one was from
Opinion.
remember the Pinion something. Pinion, yeah. And they evaluated him, and then Mitch and Anne Marie and I met and discussed. And so I'm going to let Anne Marie explain why we are recommending that we award this to Ayers. And now this firm will be what we call our qualified environmental professional on our project to clean up the main cafe. So EPA also funded through our grant this to help us oversee the project.
Thank you. While I liked Pinion's proposal, I think there was no comparison to what Ayers could bring to the table. They have an absolute depth of knowledge when it comes to the main cafe. They've been our consultant for assessment grants, so they've coordinated a lot of the testing and document updates along the way. They're very familiar with Lamar and what we're trying to accomplish, and they know main cafe, the challenges of that project and the warehouse behind it in depth. So it was two great proposals, but one stood out, and that was Ayers.
So we're just asking council to award that to Ayers and allow Anne Marie and Mitch to negotiate a contract and allow the mayor to sign after the attorney has had a chance to review it.
Okay. So just, you were explaining it, but I just want to make sure I understand. The award was to pay for the QEP.
So the award is to award it to a firm
Okay.
to take that position as our qualified environmental professional. We had already received the grant to do the cleanup, which includes paying for this position or this professional. So it is paid for through the EPA grant we received to do the cleanup. Next step then will be, once this is awarded and the firm gets in place, is we'll develop an RFP to go out for the actual removal of asbestos
The spill and the abatement.
and the abatement.
All right.
I make a motion as presented in the recommendation.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to award the bid as recommended by the staff. And to allow, well, we also need to allow the city treasurer, administrator, community development.
And that's all in the recommendation.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
All right, all
And
those in favor?
And allowing the mayor to sign is in there as well, once the contract's negotiated.
So as recommended.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion and a second as recommended. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, item number 6, introducing FlixBus.
Yes, so we had an interesting call a couple of weeks ago. FlixBus is an interstate transportation bus company. They're connected with Greyhound. They're owned by the same company. They were looking to create a through stop in Lamar between their Dallas and their Denver route. So basically what they're looking for is a place where the bus can stop twice a day, let people off, get people on, and then continue on the route. They understood that Greyhound stops at an alternate location, and they asked us if we had any recommended stops. And so we, not being familiar with the organization, we asked for a phone call, and we got a lot of great information. The mayor was on that call. And essentially what it is the FlixBus is the operator, and they contract with individual coach operators to actually transport the passengers. The conversation was very interesting. There's virtually no commitment from the city other than to put some signs up that indicate this is a FlixBus stop. That they provide the signs. They just ask that we find a place to put it. We talked about times of day, how long people wait for the buses, or how, if people are picking up folks from that bus stop, what the timeframes are, how long they wait, that kind of stuff. And we proposed a couple of locations, one being on the south side of Beach Street across from the Welcome Center, kind of behind, alongside that parking lot behind there. And they really liked that. There was seating available. And there was places where we could put up a small sign so people would know that's where the bus stops. Logistically, it just was the right place for that. An alternate spot would be in the parking lot in front of the Welcome Center. But that kind of a good alternate spot, but we just thought the South Side Beach Street was better. I believe the morning stop is at 11:40 and the afternoon stop is at 3:30 or something. The times are in the packet. And this is just for information only because what we're trying to figure out is what business attraction or business expansion opportunities can go along with the FlixBus. But I think it's great that there's an opportunity for another company to stop in Lamar. And I provided the information in the packet and I can answer any questions for you. They're looking to start this in mid-March. There was no specific date. And we do have time to work with them to figure out they have a couple of standard sign styles. We asked about possible covers for, folks to wait under, that kind of stuff. And that would, she said, if we want to explore that, we could work with FlixBus's community. I think it was the community engagement team or marketing team, something like that. So I just wanted to give everybody an update on that this is a possibility. There is an agreement that we would need to sign. The copy is in your packet. We're not asking the mayor to sign it tonight. We're just giving you an opportunity to look at it, see what's in there. And then if you have any questions, you can forward it to me and we can get those answered for you.
Okay. So has Lance seen this service agreement yet?
I don't believe so.
Not so.
Have we sent it to you?
In the packet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll bring that back later.
Right. We'll
for
bring that back
approval.
to you. But if you're interested in what is FlixBus, they have a website and just know that there's some interest in coming to Lamar.
Yeah, it seems like, well, what she was telling me, but the way I understood it is FlixBus purchased Greyhound or merged and offer both services. FlixBus is mainly geared around traveling between Dallas and Denver on that rotation daily. So they're trying to make that stop between Dallas and Denver. So they'll be coming in that rotation. Whereas Greyhound has a different service area. And so they'll both be online purchases for bus tickets and moving forward. But it is a good option for Lamar as far as having another transportation option. And I think it's a good fit for us. Should be great.
I just ask that you work closely with the city attorney on any agreements that come out of it, whether it's just the service agreement or it's potential, development pieces on that property to add signage, to add covering, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I just figured at this point we have more information we need. I wanted to give you as much information as we had, but I didn't want to take up Lance's time reviewing an agreement if we needed to substantially change it or if we had concerns before that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Mitch before we move on?
I don't have any.
Okay. Agenda item number 7. This is to approve resolution number 2601-02, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado, authorizing the mayor to execute engagement letters and enter into contractual agreements for specialized legal services. Mitch, do you want to speak on this?
Sure. So what we've experienced recently is some situations where in consultation with Lance, where he said, hey, it might be better for the city to explore an opportunity to get specialized legal counsel, somebody who specializes in there's eminent domain, for example, maybe human resources issues or something that either Lance feels more comfortable with a specialized attorney or where there could be a potential conflict. So what this resolution is asking for is for the council, and because of the nature of some of this stuff, it's we might have a situation where we need legal advice to develop an opinion about what should we do or what are our options. And if there's a conflict with Lance or there's something that he's not especially experienced with, in order to sign an engagement letter with an attorney, which is the typical first step, it's where we agree that we're going to use this attorney and they're going to charge us for the work. It might not always be in the city's best interest to have those discussions in open session because it could basically, we might be showing our cards or we might be trying to develop an opinion about what we should do or what our options are. And so that would be something that we would need the mayor to be able to sign that engagement letter before we could talk to that attorney to figure out, is this something, or how do we deal with this? So what we did is we put this resolution together, asking the council to authorize the mayor to sign the engagement letters, which is required by the charter, with some provisions. One being that it has to, the city administrator and city attorney, Lance, has to agree that yes, this is a situation where a specialized attorney would be required. And there's a maximum expenditure of $8,000 for a retainer or for services, or if it exceeded that, we'd have to come to council and get your approval. And there was one other piece that, and that it was for these unique situations listed in the resolution. It wouldn't be where we just didn't like Lance's answer and so we want to get a second opinion. It would be Lance and I both agreeing that this is necessary to move forward. And so that's what we're asking the council to do tonight, is authorize the mayor to sign engagement letters for specialized attorneys. Yes, that's what we're asking for. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Lance, you've reviewed this resolution and are good with its verbiage and legalese?
I have reviewed it. I also reviewed the charter. Didn't find any issues within the charter or in the resolution that would conflict.
Thank you.
Okay. What's the council's pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the resolution and allow the mayor to sign and yep. Almost read the last bit that I didn't need to there, that any other decision.
I'll second that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is miscellaneous items. I will go on to Lamar tomorrow morning. Do we have anybody that would be interested in going on to KVAY, or do we have a scheduled appointment with them? Do you know?
We've got a couple new faces that could take the opportunity on and see how they like it.
Yeah, at some point we need to kind of rotate some of the council members to go on and give an update after the council meetings. Tomorrow, if you want, we can just get with KVAY and see if we can get a routine schedule placed for 2026. But I do think we need to get somebody in there, don't you?
Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting on cannot remember what they called it. I'm in a meeting tomorrow until 10 a.m. So early until 10 a.m. So I won't be able to tomorrow.
Okay.
It's like a quality assurance panel that I was asked to be on for a local organization.
Okay. Anybody else interested?
Doing it 7 tomorrow, but it's actually 7:15 for KVAY.
And basically you go in and just give an update on what had happened the night before at the city council meeting, and you can pretty much take your agenda and just update them and answer any questions, whoever it may be.
Tonight's was a short agenda, so it shouldn't be difficult.
If we don't have anybody tonight, we can go ahead and hold off until the next meeting, but at the next meeting, please be prepared that I'm going to ask again for somebody to do it so we can get started on a rotation.
It's not that scary.
If I was to do it, would we rotate or would I be locked in? I have to do.
We'd rotate.
Yeah. Would rotate.
We intend just to rotate this.
Kirk and I have been locked in and waiting for some extra participation from other council
I
members.
think you guys.
I'm
do
looking
such
at
a
you
good
too,
job.
Jerry. I'm looking
Yeah,
right
I looked
at
at you too, Jerry.
Hey, I'm the only woman. I get my way. No.
I don't know if that's how it works. Equal rights.
And I think we have, if I have enough warning,
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to do tomorrow, that would be
because
fine.
if we have enough warning, because tomorrow my report time at the hospital is 7 o'clock. But if I have enough warning, I could let my manager know that I'll be
Just down the
half
street
hour
from
later. So
Okay.
I'd be interested in future.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you.
So we'll have Brad do it tomorrow, and then I'll do the other station, and then we can get with, and get a cycle going with that. Are there any other miscellaneous items to discuss?
I would have one, and I'll make it quick. Office Chief Ritter, at our next meeting for February the 19th, Is it possible to have an officer who would be interested in helping us with the Neighborhood Watch program?
I believe
Okay.
Thank you.
I meant to say this during my reports and correspondence. Southeast Colorado Cancer Initiative's third annual Fight Night Social will be July 18th. We have set it at the pavilion at the fairgrounds. We still have to get in front of the Board of County Commissioners to get that final approval. And fees waived if you're listening, guys, for our nonprofit event. So July 18th of this year, 5 p.m. at the fairgrounds under the pavilion. We'll have rain cover this year after getting drenched by 2 inches of rain in 30 minutes in last year. So it'll be nice to not have that happen at this year's event.
Okay. All right. Seeing that there's no other miscellaneous items, we'll move on to the final item on the agenda, which is an executive session for discussion of personnel matters under Colorado Revised Statutes, sections 24-6, 402, subsection 4, subsection F, which is a meeting for annual evaluations of the city administrator, city clerk, city treasurer, municipal judge, and city attorney. There will be no decisions coming out of this executive session. This is more of a discussion to prepare for these personnel evaluations or the annual evaluations. So as I said, there will be no discussions coming out of that, and we will adjourn immediately following the executive session. Do we have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter into executive session. All those in favor signify with an aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Again, our next meeting will be on February the 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. and